Welcome back. Let's do it. Let's do it. Exhale, baby. Let that shit off your chest. So today we're doing tacos. A little salad in the middle. Some horchata on the side. This story is coming from Evil Eyes here. On the ID network, it is normally on. Nowadays, you can probably find it on Hulu, a number of different, networks. It's word networks. So, this story is called Keeping My Brother's Secret. This is from Lubbock, Texas. Quite some time ago, this happened. And it's a story of these two young men from in a family of 7. That includes the mom and dad. He had 5 different siblings. All of them had 5 different dads. And his mom finally found the one, and they married, and he took good care of him. He was part of the army, so they lived on the Air Force base. And the 2 youngest brothers were the closest, so they had to share the same room, go to the same school, what the 2 closest gotta do. So it all started in elementary. Stephen and baby boy Bryant, since they were the youngest and the closest in age, the mom decided to be like, look, y'all just stick together. You're a team for lifer. And unfortunately for Bryant, Stephen was a little menace. First, it just started off with killing like the neighborhood cats with little bombs, like cherry bombs. He'd tape them to the back, light it. Sometimes the cat would die. Sometimes the cat would just be injured, probably die later. And that's how it started. But as Stephen got a little older, he started to take it up a notch and got a BB gun and started killing the feral cats in the neighborhood. So it was on Christmas when Brian really noticed something was wrong with his brother. I was in the backyard, just tossing around the ball, having a good old time. Christmas Eve, or it was Christmas Day. So they was playing with the new football they got, how kids will do. Steven sees the cat come right up to him. He pets it and breaks the cat's neck and throws it. Just threw the cat like a scallywag. Just threw it. Kept on playing. Bryant looking like, oh my God. Somebody help me. He didn't want to mess up the celebration going forward, so he never brought it up to his parents at all. He figured it'd be best to be quiet. Later on that night, I don't know what Steven was thinking about that night, but he turned to his brother and said, "You either with me or against me." But it really was rhetorical because he's like, "You're with me, 100%." There's no outs. So he was just letting him know we finna take it up a level. Basically, that's all that conversation was. So after that, Steven's like, you don't really have a choice, so I'm gonna need you to look out for me because I'm going to the school dance. Their dad said no because he wasn't doing so well, with just maintaining in school. His grades were down. He's like, you can't go, and I'm not fit to take you because I work in the morning. So he's like, well, fine then. And he told Bryant to have, if his dad comes back in the room checking on him, don't say anything. So Brian just turned over and was like, I really don't have a choice in this. He just acted like he was asleep. Steven, he snuck out the window. He said he's gonna have a ball. There was no stopping the fun bus for anybody. A couple hours went by. And Bryant's dad came in the room. He noticed Steven was not in his bed. His bed was right by the door, so there was no gun around that. Bryant didn't say anything. He said, alright. You want to play it? Get your coat on. Let's go. He didn't even tell the boy to put his shoes on. He went outside with no shoes on. Just a coat. So the dad pulls up to a little dance, and he tells Bryant to get out and go get Steven. I'm like, should you be getting out the car and going to get him? Because either way it goes, it's still going to be embarrassing when they know he has to leave. But nonetheless, Brian gets out the car, goes into the dance hall, dragging Steven out. He's embarrassed because he didn't have nothing but his jammies on. No shoes, no socks, just a jacket and his jammies. So he's embarrassed. He done embarrassed all the kids. Look how pretty it is. You see that? I don't know how y'all see color, but color is so vibrant. It has its own little tone to it. You know? That makes sense? No? It's alright. I love it. So, they get back to the house. Steven, I imagine he got an ass whooping for sneaking out. A little lecture. Then the boys got sent to bed. Here's where it really jumps off. Okay? Not even 78 hours later, Steven decided, let's take it up one more notch. Because this is boring. So he decides to go break into the barbershop and thrash and break all the glass. I was like, wow. What the barbershop do to you, Steven? Did they give you a bad cut? Like, what happened? And basically, he just didn't give no, He didn't have it. He didn't have it to give. Okay? Didn't have it to give. So he gave what he had. And that was terrorism, if I may add. So, he tears it up. They make a police report. The police come out. They detain Steven. And they're asking him, why you did this? He said, I'm bored. You bored. They probably should have had him, I don't know, because he was great at sports. There probably wasn't anything they could have gave to him to help him calm down. He just liked to terrorize. That's all. It suits his little soul. And some people just like that. But unfortunately for Brian, he was stuck with him, so it's not like he could, get out of being in the midst or being in the liking of him, because he was stuck with being around him. But unfortunately, as they went to middle school, he took it up one more level. He started sexually assaulting girls. The quiet ones. The ones who didn't have friends, the ones who just kept to themselves. And when that wasn't enough, he took it up one more level. He started robbing everybody at the school. When they was in gym class, when they was in other classes, they would just go through the lockers, go through the locker room. And yet again, poor Bryant was in there. He tried to stand up for himself one time, and Steven knocked him out. So as Bryant regained consciousness, Steven standing over him like, do it again, I'm going to kill you. So Steven was like, look, I don't want to die. So I'm just going to do what he tells me to do. How sad. So, I guess he decided to take it up one more notch, because one day, as the two boys, Bryant and Steven decided to stop by a tennis court, which had an automatic, tennis shooter. Put tennis balls in and shoots out the tennis balls at like 75 what how you call it? Miles per hour. And he just happened to notice this handicapped boy wheeling his chair across the court, and I guess Steven just seen that as a great opportunity to work on his aim or something, because he just started stuffing them balls back to back. I mean, he done shot the boy all up in his chest. He out the chair. He all on the ground. He screaming for help. He telling Steven stop. He begging for his little life. Can't see because he done knocked his glasses off his face. Just messed up. He done beat the boy up in the wheelchair with the tennis ball gun. Savage. So as Steven decides to walk off, giggling, he done got his little rocks off. Hey, Bryant decides to help the little boy up. Of course, he had to readjust the boy's clothes, because Steven decided to also point out all the bruise marks that the gun left on him from when the tennis balls hit this little boy in the chest. He just bruised up, poked out. He can't even walk, so can't walk, can't see. It was just torture. Just tortured the little boy. He really liked it. Stephen really liked it, how he did that little boy. So his brother Bryant helped the little man's up, put him back in his chair, got his glasses on, dusted him off, because I can't imagine he was clean after that. I mean, he was rolling all across the ground trying to get away from him. So he helped him up. He's like, I'm sorry about my brother. This is just how it is. And he's like, it's not your fault, man. It's your brother, not you. Da 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 da. And I guess that was enough. So he took it up one more level and started raping the girls at his school. But the school didn't do anything because he was a football star. So needless to say, they rewarded his bad behavior by not saying anything. Because they wanted to win. They didn't care about his future. They didn't care about that boy at all. So I itch. So as the school season went on, this little boy, the need for I don't even know. I don't know what to call it at this point, because he took it up another level and decided to rob this old lady. Like I said, they lived on a base, so everybody knew who everybody was. Old lady made a report, filed charges. They came and got Stephen. Stephen just looking like whatever. He don't care. He done went to jail. This ain't nothing new. And soon after he was booked and they released him because he's underage. And like I said, he's like the town superstar. So, they really don't care about this boy's future. They release him. Soon after that, he rapes a girl and leaves like lipstick letters. I had to because I was bored and it was fun. So he rapes her and kills her. He got away with that pretty much. And it just kept going on. He would do stupid, menacing things to people in his community. It wasn't until Stephen took the life of a doctor and his wife that they were willing, now seeing that they got to do something about this little man. He's just running around killing people, raping people, robbing, destroying, tearing up the community. So because he killed the doctor of the community and his wife, they decided to go get him. But before they got to him, he killed his mom and his dad. So Brian was at his friend's house somewhere, and they called the friend's house. They said, look, you need to get to your house immediately. He's running a whole mile to his house. As soon as he get there, they're carrying his mammy out. Blanket and all. She gone. She done went home. No more left. No more left. And basically, when they booked him, they gave him life in jail. After 34 years of being in jail, Stephen decides to write his brother, Brian. And he basically tells them I had to kill them because if I didn't, they were going to testify on me and I didn't want to be in jail for life. So I killed everybody. I'm like, wow. That's deep. And Brian was offended because he didn't get a sorry. You messed up my life. I lost my school, college scholarships because I was related to you. Like nothing. He didn't have no remorse for what he did. Brian had to drop out of school. He had to forfeit all his scholarships because nobody wanted to be around that. Like, your brother's a mass murderer, basically, with a mile-long record of just being a menace. And they're thinking, well, if he do it, you do it. Cause y'all related. So anyways, Brian decides to go to the Navy. That's when he got a chance to turn his life around and keep seeing the positive for what it is. He said that gave him a chance to grow up, correct. Really gave him structure and how to go in life and move forward. So, I really felt like that was good. That was good. That was real good. Because most people, they encounter a horrible childhood, grow up, don't do anything with their life, find a middle, sit there and get bitter, and don't ever grow up. Don't find structure, don't find a hobby, end up on drugs, instead of trying to restructure their life, find a meaning, and dug into a purpose. So I thought it was really good that he took the chance to make something of himself. He currently has a family, grandkids, happily married. I'm proud of him. I was real glad. And you said you can look this story up. It's called, let me find it. Keeping My Brother's Secret on Evil Eyes here. Hopefully you enjoy the food as you just got a chance to hear a little story. True crime, of course. Hopefully everybody's staying afloat as we're going and coming out of this Rona case. And make sure it's not burning. And do enjoy your day. I don't know where you're at, but I hope it's beautiful and dry. That'd be good. And not snowing. Enjoy.